Oh, dang it. It's doing it again. Alright. Okay, I'm here. I really don't know what's going on with the model. Works just before I go live, and then as I go live, it goes, nope, that scene won't work. Anyways, hi. Evening, everyone. So, it's been a little while since we played Esoteric Ebb. It's been a week. I know that they'll have that handy dandy recap for us, but I kind of want to see how well I do at recapping. Time zone am I in? I'm currently on the west coast of the US, but I'll be changing time zones in about a month, so my stream time might change then too. We'll kind of see how that one goes. But yes, so Esoteric Ebb, so far, we have been washed up on the river. I presume that we died. Squish. I'm moving, but I don't think I'm comfortable saying much more than that. But yes, so we are a cleric. We first come to drowning inside of a river. We're pulled out of the river by some fishermen. And from what I can recall, it's very important that we vote. The election is in, I think they said 5 days from when we first came to. Though I don't really know why the election is so important. They haven't really said much. Our instincts sort of told us that we needed to find the goblin leader and discover the truth behind the blown up tea shop. Oh, I'm not moving to Japan, I'll say that much. So if my stream does change time, it'll be earlier in the day. Yeah, as beautiful as Japan is, I'm sure. I don't speak the language. I'm not confident living anywhere that doesn't speak English as a primary language. I'm just too nervous about. Yeah, anyways. So, yes, we have to find out who blew up the tea shop. We had the opportunity to ask if we were dead, because when we came to, we were in a morgue, and the mortician there could have been asked that question. I had the option. However, I was a little scaredy butt of asking that question, and so I did not do so. I don't know if I've died, but I have a pretty good feeling that I died. And I have a pretty good feeling that I'm undead, because that mortician has some undead working for him, and I know that I died. So, our helmet won't come off. I'm pretty sure it's because we're not really human anymore. But we found the goblin leader. She wants us to discover who blew up the tea shop. We tried to investigate the tea shop, as is our right as a cleric, working for the city. For the country, maybe? I don't know. The setting is so vast here. I'm kind of struggling to understand where we are in relation to everything. We couldn't gain access to the tea shop because the city guy, Lord Darrow, restricted everyone, and he won't talk to us until midnight. It's currently around 2 p.m. on the first day, so I'm sort of exploring right now, trying to find out what to do before midnight. I got a tip that something was going to be happening on Waterlane in the late afternoon, and so now I'm nervous because I found Waterlane, and what if I explore too far away from Waterlane and then something happens and I miss it because the tea shop owner might be fleeing via Waterlane, and man, I just gotta explore. Alright, that was a terrible recap. Let's see how they do. Alright. You've arrived in Tolstad via waking up in a morgue. You've picked up a goblin sidekick, and now? Well, now you need to focus on the actual job, the tea shop that blew up. First off, you still need to get inside. The entrance is in the middle of the big, open, outside area. If you find yourself stuck, there probably should be some other ways of getting inside. Beyond that, you've also got the owner to track down. From what you've heard about this guy, he could have already left the city. Though maybe if you're lucky, you can catch him before he hops onto the next ship down on Water Lane. But nothing so far has given you any decisive evidence. Everything about this stinks. So, that is pretty much word for word the exact same recap that I had last time. I spent so much time exploring and I didn't actually do anything productive. Man. But I found Water Lane. That's big for me because I get lost. So, I'll take it. Now here's the challenge. I left myself on Water Lane just so that way I could try to remember my way back to it more easily. It's 4 p.m. Oh, that's even harder. Because, like, if I find something to do, but it takes a few hours. Oh, also, last time, everyone convinced me to steal this thing from a guy who was asleep. Maybe I should take it off and wake him. Is that a bad idea? It's probably a bad idea. I'm gonna do it anyways. Do a little bit of mischief. I think he was in here. Snore. Yeah. He's still asleep. I stole so much from you, my guy. I'm so sorry. I know nothing about him, really. Yep. Nothing really about this guy. Oh, that's okay. You take a step into the cramped office, standing in front of a sleeping halfling. Is this a scholar? Curse the gods, to investigate his book collection before waking the lazy halfling. Oh, go investigate his book. too. I think I already did, didn't I? I remember opening this and then being like, I read so many books, I'm kind of tired of reading books, but maybe I should. The Folk. Alexandro. This was the first book placed in your hands as an Earthfolk recruit. Open it. It's an old, worn copy of that same text, musings about the divine era of great walking gods and their theocratic states. A history lesson, morphing into a series of guidelines. How modern leaders, as a response to the drawn-out Coast War, should return to the old. The proven, the organized, the divine. Although written from the perspective of not faith nor service to the holy, but rather that of service to the state. A modern theocratic vision, the nation as an entity not bound by the protection and lifetime of its god. Instead, the nation-state will survive on unifying cultural traits passed down from that god to his people. This, Alexandra writes, will fasten them into the earth, creating firm groundings for the states to exist beyond any others. The later chapters go on to describe his dream of a millennium empire, his grand plan, a nation to survive the passing of eras. A collection of ideas he gathers in this dream, an ideology structured around order, without the weakness of a monarchy, the chaos of democracy, or the esoteric dependence of magocracy. Democracy, said to originate from early arcane era civilizations in Old Dimenor, it is the rule of majority, those with suffrage may vote to enable their preferred government. A truly messy and ineffective process. The Millennium Empire, the fascist ideal. Sorry, just reading this, it makes me think of Star Wars. Sorry. Millennium Falcon. Dangerous ideas. Fascism has led many cities astray in reads. Whatever your thoughts are, this book is used to reshape the city. Do not know the power of the dark side. Hey, Snuffle. You live in fear of where its path will lead. Close it and put it back in its spot. Blind Manifesto by the Hedonists. The book. The book. Always listen to your hungry stomach, it says with big, ugly letters on the first page. You should listen to the book and the stomach. I'm recalling that when we were first selecting our skills, like our actual character traits, when going over what Constitution does, it said, always listen to your hungry stomach. So this would be like following our Constitution? What if we humor that? This wonderful manual. Same as always, the book begins with a tirade about property ownership. Then on the 5th page, you find a diagram showing how to ritualistically summon a demon. Demon, a chaotic evil fiend. They are mostly bloodthirsty monsters and rage-crazed barbarians fallen out of Heishi? I'm gonna guess? But some of their more civilized spawn do reign in the cities and realms surrounding the Endless Maw. Heishi, one of 8 bands along the coast, means either growing maw or into the air in Abyssal, a deeply cursed jungle hellscape filled with volcanic rivers, flesh-eating insects, and murderous plants. Once an elven sanctuary, now home to demonic warlords, tiefling cities, and celestial crusaders. No succubi? Maybe. Maybe the list is not all-inclusive. Tiefling are a folk with demonic or devilish blood in their veins. Often have features such as horns, tails, red or blue skin color, and various esoteric abilities. For those who are somewhat new, esoteric is sort of like natural wild magic. So this game, Esoteric Ebb, I am a cleric with esoteric affinity. An affinity for the natural magic of the world. I don't really know what it means yet. It's incorrect, however, on purpose, supposedly. The purpose is metaphoric criticism of authoritarian governments. The rest is a series of extreme essays on the topics of hedonism, rejection of statehood, free association, maximizing sensation, direct democracy, and reciprocal exchange. It paints up an image of an ideal world where all can live without strife simply through the cooperation and love of all things. Ooh, watch streak. A loving image, communally loving. Made illegal in many cities after its release in 466 AE, this rambling text has survived for one reason or another. It is the thing that makes you feel good. The text of truth. You flip to pages 52. You remember it well. It has pictures. Tiny scribbling, something akin to stick figures positioned in various enwrapped unities. Are we relearning the birds and the bees? Is that what's happening right now? You remember the words well. the guide on how to make ultimate sensations of flesh. I don't know if I like the way that's phrased. Close the book. Reading filth like this will only darken your mind. The hedonists are back on the shelf. Memoirs of a Statesman by Nicholas Darrow. That's the guy who we're waiting to get permission from to look inside the tea shop. The first few pages are devoted to a rambling text about the history of governing, from ancient texts from various beasts of Jor to gods of the divine era to several arcanist figures. Darrow then smoothly moves on to conflate their accomplishments with his own. Beasts of Jor, a term for the sentient folk who aligned with Jor during the Gate era, also known as the Antisepalian. As the folk. Most are gone today. This is an old Dimenorian term meaning before the closing of the gates, used to refer to those who lived before the end of the Gate era, exactly 2,027 years ago. The closing is a term for the closing of the gates, which the event which ended the Gate era, which, yeah, it occurred 2,027 years ago. Oh, another definition on Dimenorian. The common language of man, spread across the coast during the Arcane era to become the lingua dominant in trade and politics. Especially since he also includes an explanation of his lineage that he is a direct firstborn grandson of Borgo Darrow, the first paladin of Earth. Who's Borgo? Borgo Darrow, the first paladin of Earth, yeah, of course, founded the Earth Guard, as well as the illustrious Darrow bloodline. Known for his bravery and inability to be damaged in battle, died of a heart attack at age 40. His passing is used as an example of the importance of aging man to keep track of cardiovascular diseases. That's important. Healthy heart. The many pages go on to describe both practical but mostly theoretical methods a statesman should use when dealing with the populace, the bureaucracy, and the ideologies of modern life. Man, that one got me. Generally, the book has a rather tough tone about democracy. A quote you've heard before from this book pops up toward the end. Those who believe in democracy have a wonderful view of folk, to think them capable of making rational and informed decisions devoid of personal bias and emotional conduct. I feel like these are some free shots. From what you remember, it caused quite the stir when it came out 2 years ago. Quite anti-democratic. No wonder people were upset to have a magistrate use such terrible language. You recall a rumor about Shield Lord Jarn having hated this book so much during its printing that he personally bought 200 copies only to burn them in his garden. As Shield Lord, the magistrate handling industry, armories, city defenses, mining, and refining, as well as resource allocation, currently held by Eirik Jarn in the Northwall district. Oh, and Jarn is one of the original Earthfolk houses to found Norvik with Earth. A small house, but one of the richest. Used to be... Okay, I said that this was Jarn, so I'm gonna make this one Yarn. Used to be Yarn, but they changed it to move away from the Dwarven influence. It's probably not true. Probably. You do so. Alright, in the last book, okay? The Dark Book of Shadow. You pick up the black-covered tome. A faint tingle goes through your gloved hand. That's the most evil book I've ever seen. How'd they even get the cover to be that black? It's like a void. Thickened graphene. That is how they create the darkness on the cover. A memory lingers in this tone. If you open it, you shall recall. Do we open the evil book? What if it has Mage Hand inside? Mage Hand is not evil, but evil people might still use Mage Hand. I like how I said I was going to be a good boy this playthrough, and here I am wondering, should I open the evil book? Memory lingers here. I don't think I want to open the evil book. I don't think there's anything else. I'm pretty sure I robbed this guy blind already, so let's talk to him. Hello?
Huh?
Oh, he moans and slowly opens his bushy eyes. His confused gaze focuses on you. Life is pain. What? Terrible, terrible pain. Oh. He mutters and rubs his face. The wrinkles fold over one another like waves on a storied sea. Are you? He looks at you with his weary expression, then he rubs his nose and sniffs twice. Are you here for the invoice? A quick glance to Snell. His words come out in a typical Fordnip accent. What? The invoice! I'm gonna ask Snell, should I have an invoice? No. No? No? Oh. Oh, hold on. I've already paid that invoice. You're here for something different. He leans in, facing Snell. I hope Queen Goblin has no quarrel with this old scholar. He holds up a palm. Now we're here on city business. I'm exploring random buildings, and yours is unlocked. Oh, this game is so wonderful. I love the dialogue options. I've got some questions about the tea shop, mostly. Tea shop? Then you are dealing with interesting events. The city has seen its fair share of great calamities over the years, and the tea shop explosion appears tiny in comparison. Probably, but I have some questions regardless. Of course. Curiosity is absolutely vital for keeping the old brain in motion, so I commend you, cleric. And you as well, my goblin friend. He looks around, grunting. Can I get either of you some fucking water, or... Wow. He wields swear words like coastal winds. No, thank you. Your companion replies very quickly. You're Scholar Appledent, right? Me? Yes. I am Snuller Appledent, he says, and bows his head in the chair. Scholar of Fordnip University in dedicated service to the progress of AIS. Okay, but what exactly do you do? Many things. Primarily, my expertise lands on the topic of alignment and its many historical and contemporary applications. Some bullshit, I'll tell you. Alignment is the esoteric effect which brands each creature on the coast with one of 9 labels on 2 axes, lawful to chaotic and good to evil. It is debated exactly who or what determines the parameters within this effect. Spells like Detect Alignment are capable of parsing this effect. I don't know how lawful I am right now, guys. I'm literally holding his stolen scroll. Detect Alignment is a first-level divination spell which allows the caster to see an esoteric effect around creatures who are not true neutral on the alignment axis. Clerics often use this as a utility, even if alignments are not admissible in the Norvikian courts since the Earthfolk Rights Order of 499 AE. Okay, now I'm confused. It says I've got an ad break starting soon, but I'm confused by that, because I intentionally ran a 3-minute ad break at the very start, so that we wouldn't get ads for an hour. It's only been 30 minutes. What's going on? Guess I'll just snooze it for now? But it only snoozes for 5 minutes. Well, that's disappointing. That did not work how I thought it would. Anyway, something to look into for next time. These days I mostly deal with other forms of study. Specifically, I run this office here on the experimental technique of psychoanalysis. What kind of magic is that? No magic at all, although there has been some detect thoughts involved at some points in the development. It is a form of mind healing, as they call it. I'll be the one to call it support instead. It is essentially the idea that the mental present is shaped by the mental past, and that, through dialogue, our unreleased unconscious ghosts can be vanquished. So it's talking about feelings? I know, truly horrifying. A Reedsian friend of mine once told me this joke, and I apologize if it is too vulgar for your taste, but he sputters out the words through little chortles. Oh no. Every single dialogue option costs us time. Then again, I kind of want to spend time. Go for it, bud. Right. A cleric, an arcanist, and a rogue delve into the lair of a succubus. Snuffle, just for you. There's a succubus. The fiend defeats all 3 men, throwing them in her dungeon. But she grows to fancy them, so she offers them a choice. For each man who can successfully satisfy her, she will let that man go. Otherwise, he speaks with little fits of laughter in between, she ends them, so to say. You actually haven't heard this one. I'm just gonna nod. Just, So the 3 adventurers debate in which order to go. Eventually, the rogue and arcanist decide the cleric should go first, as he is a virgin and will be least likely to increase her standards. Your goblin companion rubs his eyes as he listens to the joke. The cleric, being divine and so on, prays to his god and goes to the fiend's bedchambers. He comes out 10 minutes later completely unharmed and gives a thumbs up to his 2 friends, who of course both feel a great sense of relief. The arcanist goes in next, confident and arrogant. If the cleric could do it, the fiend must be easy. Within minutes his bones roll out of the bedchamber entrance, the man having been incinerated by hellish flames. The rogue is horrified but realizes obviously the arcanist overestimated his abilities, so he carefully enters the bedchamber, ready to put every ounce of effort into it. Less than a minute later, screams erupt from the bedchamber, and the rogue's lifeless corpse falls out of the entrance. The cleric prays for the souls of his comrades and gathers their remains for a burial. The succubus steps out smoking a cigarette. She tells the cleric, "My, your friends were truly terrible. They were just fumbling about down there. At least you managed to touch it a little." To which the cleric responds, You're truly an awful creature, and I will pray for your presence to be exorcised from this plane of existence every day until the day I die. Then, before he walks away, the cleric also adds, "Oh, but I did heal that horrible wound you had between your legs. Hopefully that makes you less evil in the future." The goblin lets out a slight gust of wind through his nose. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I'm just gonna say funny. The halfling chortles loudly. My kind of humor, you might say. In short, you can view the succubus as an evil in the world which religious fervor would pray to repair. However, such reparation could often lead to a not-so-optimal path. He keeps on laughing. Or most simply, you could say it's a basic allegory for alignment itself. The cleric meant well for all its intents, but his actions cost the lives of both comrades. Is that evil, or is it good? And so on. Either way, the psychoanalysis, yes, that's what we were talking about. It's about your feelings, thoughts, memories, choices you've made, things that have happened to you. They can bog you down, so to say, and the goal in my clinic practice is to root that out in my patients' minds, to help make them aware of repressed negative baggage, if you will, so one can move forward more speedily. Well, I don't have any repressed negative feelings. A bold claim. But it is not the only thing I work on here. I am currently exploring the dream of anima animus. That is something to do with masculinity and femininity, based on Cividix's ideas. A dream of man and woman. What a pervert. You like this guy. Hey, Odin. Let's see. The dream of anima animus. You dream about men and women? Sometimes. But the dream is just a concept of understanding gender ideologues. Beyond that, I also focus a lot on my own unverified theories. He slaps his knees and grins. The folk spirit. Have you heard of it? Sounds like a collective folk view on morality. Still on this game, it's day 1. I think the game goes on for like 5 or 6 days, so we'll be on this game for a while. Oni's not here, no. At least I don't think so, unless they wake up in the middle of the night, but I think it's like 4:30 a.m. for them. Let's see. Folk spirit, have you heard of it? Is that some kind of unified moral or ethical code of a people or culture? No, it's... He leans back and squints. That's not actually that far off. You've got a head on you, cleric. 6 times, no. We're on our 4th session, but we're still on the 1st day. So, we'll be here for a while. The Folk Spirit is the working title for my new thesis. Most of it is, if you excuse my anarin, fucking bullshit. But in short, it is about how each folk share a number of core communal archetypes, or myths. I have traveled across the coast to collect as many tales, writing down thousands of stories previously only passed down orally. All to see how well my theory holds up in the minds of so many folk. He clears his throat and leans back into his chair. Apologies, I am ranting here. Let us put a stop to it. What do you want, cleric? Well, I wanted to pass some time before something cool happens in the area, so I think I am succeeding. Let's see. Interesting. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Let's see. Can you give me some mind healing? Of course. I am, however, a bit swamped in work right now. I will get you a booked slot. Can you make time now? No, I'm afraid I cannot. Dang it. Truth be told, I'm very overworked. I'm struggling with a certain topic. He makes a noise that might once have been a cough. The old man is frustrated. He's trying to avoid even thinking about it. What? I am focusing on a specific idea of civics. The idea of two opposite faces of your ego, masculine and feminine. Is he just going to keep talking no matter what I do? Oh yes. You have no control here. You see, there is a work called Book of the Mind. It is, in my opinion, civics' masterpiece in the figurative sense. Figurative? Indeed. No, I'm asking, what does that mean? A figurative masterpiece? I am saying it is a masterpiece in the sense of the common tongue, as opposed to a masterpiece in the literal sense being a work to finish a master's scholarship. Anyway, there is a rare edition of this book which contains a rumored so-called final foreword from Civics himself. In this foreword, he apparently reveals a revelation about his categorization of the psyche, specifically on the topic of gender. Might be nothing, but it would be highly interesting to get my grubby hands on it. He leans in and whispers, and more importantly, it would bring me great pleasure to know how much civics would be spinning in whatever Thasanian mass grave he's buried in if he knew a halfling like myself was pioneering in his footsteps. Oh. Wasn't a fan. Like most humans of his era, he was very, let's say, humanity first. Snore leans back in his chair. This final 6th edition of the book, it was only printed in 10 copies. The publisher then hiked up the price in order to sell it to collectors. Those collectors have then spent the last 3 decades using these copies as a form of investment, making sure to keep the content of that foreword a tightly guarded secret. Sleepy Sheepie. Hi, Sheepie. See. How terrible. A scholar's words should be freely available. Nothing is ever free, even if it is free. So what, you want me to find this rare book? He nods. I drank a bit too much the other night, and in my desperation, I paid a diviner to cast Locate Object for me. Locate Object is a 2nd level divination spell. Allows the caster to know the location and movement of a familiar object within 1,000 feet. It is common for scammers to pretend to cast this and find nothing. I didn't expect anything, and it was very expensive. However, she actually found it. A copy of the 6th edition Book of the Mind is here, very close to Waterlane View. And she even told me the exact direction. He points to the floor, about 40 meters, straight down. Meters is a way of measuring distances. We knew that. Invented by an arcanist named Upland Hagenshags. Today it's only used in scholarly circles. What's the name of this diviner? Lisa, I believe. He sniffs. She used to have a hut on the top of Freestrider building. Sorry, it's my drivers. Made you look. It wandered away, I think. Wandered? He makes little walking motions with his fingers. Skadoodled, as they say. An esoteric house. She seemed kind. I hope she stops working for those fucking parasites. Hey, AZ. We're starting to pass too much time for my comfort here, so I'm just gonna start to wrap him up a little if I can. Guide him a bit more. This sounds like a quest. Sure, why not? Oh, so many side quests, Snell mutters to himself. Delve into the dangerous tunnels below and get me that book. Don't get yourself killed, and in exchange, I will. Well, what the fuck kind of reward do you want? You swear a lot. I want you to heal my broken mind. Impossible. No one can fix another's mind. I can promise support, but no guarantee. Choose something else. Okay, I don't know. Do you have a magic item or something? He shrugs. I have books in droves. You know what? He says and snaps his fingers. The book itself. It's expensive and probably magical in some sense. Get me the book, let me take a look at that forward, and you keep the book afterwards. That's still a quest, right? Well, I don't have to return the book to you in that case. I could just take the book and go. True. He sighs. I suppose I can offer some guidance in understanding the book as well, if you let me make a copy of that forward really quick. Woohoo! He sniffs. How goes the ebbing? It goes. We haven't been here for too long, honestly. We kind of just started talking to this guy. He started swearing, talking about, pleasing a succubus. And he's a psychologist, I think, and something about genders. This guy's an interesting character. I'm not an expert in what kind of weird shit is down there, but the city below is dangerous, so don't wander blindly. Good luck, cleric. Oh boy, okay. It is now 5 p.m. I want to ask him about the tea shop, but I want to take a look around outside just to make sure I'm not missing anything cool going on. Trying to do the Wordle. It was literally, I think, 30 seconds before stream goes live that I was like, ah, shit, I have to randomize that. And I very quickly randomized the words for our Wordle game. Alright, let's take a look around. I think something's gonna happen. But I don't know what, or when, or... Is there something there? No? This guy reads trading company. That's blocked. Some coins. Wishes never granted. Closed for the day, that's right. The store looks promising. You stand before a damp door on a cramped corner house. The wood is dark, swollen with the perpetual moist of Water Lane. A layer of river mud and algae. You know someone here? You rap your knuckles against the wood, a solid rhythmic knock. A moment passes, then the sound of a heavy latch sliding. The door creaks open. A pair of bulbous eyes stare up at you. It is an Enran, dressed in a tiny velvet smoking jacket, quite distinguished despite the lack of pants. Qu'est-ce? What is it? He blinks slowly. A translucent membrane flicks across his eyes. I am busy. Très occupé. Occupé? Oh dear, Oni is gonna tear me apart later. Oh gosh. Ask Oni. He's asleep. I can't. I have some questions. Oh? Wait. He squints at your uniform. Are you how do you say, la clèche? Oh no, this is so hard and he's gonna... I can't guess French. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Or something? Le clergy. I think it's like a soft G, like clergy? Clerge? Man. I am the cleric, yes. Ah, bon. He nods respectfully. I've heard Oni say that. I know this one. Bon. At least you are not from the Tithe House. The Anaran peeks his head out behind the door. Tu veux quoi? I know what this one's. You want what? Why would I beg? I say why would I, but then I do. Just smile, the kind of smile that opens wallets. My good sir, surely a gentleman of your stature supports the arts or the holy cause. Ah, flattery. He sighs, his throat pouch inflating slightly. Told you. You are charming. Say. And you. The one time that Oni is sleeping at a normal hour. He reaches for something on the other side of the door. Take this. No, au revoir. He shoves the fancy bottle toward you. The door slams shut before you can say thank you, or anything else. The pinkish liquid inside swirls around. Rhubarb ale! This is no small potion. The Anaran must be well connected. Lovely. This will make things much smoother. So you really just went, knocked on some stranger's door. Look, I'm not going to knock on your methods too much, but if you keep this up, we'll be done by 6 months after the election. You didn't even ask about the tea shop. Not once. I just had a feeling this door was important. The goblin closes his eyes in a short, silent contemplation. Then he says, maybe stick to the Le Point d'In test? Okay. That's funny, I like that. Okay. So that was an embarrassing show of how weak my French is. In my defense, I took Spanish in school. Okay, so... I know they said something about the possibility of the tea shop owner fleeing via ship. I don't even see a dock. Where could a ship go? Maybe past this griffin? Wait, is this the place that opens later on in the day? Opens at sundown. When is sundown? Not yet, apparently. Spanish sheep. I kind of want to wake up the griffin. Barred shut. Oh. Deep groaning. The bell of Water Lane. Big bird. Sorry. Ah, man, I'm so afraid of like missing something going on. But I don't really know where to go. I have a feeling it might be this, because this happens after a street sign. It says upper W view, lower W docks. I want the docks. It's down here? I can't go down here. I can kind of go down here. Oh. Or was that Snell that I had the thing for? I think it was Snell. Gosh. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. I think it's Snell. It says enter. Okay. Nope. Alright. Sorry. Okay, so that's the election. Yeah, there's gonna be trouble down on Water Lane this evening. You should check it out. This evening. Evening? What is evening? Scanning Classic contains a fizzy drink that tastes just like ale with none of the downsides. So it's actually okay for you to drink this since it's non-alcoholic. Grants a minor charisma increase for a week. That's the whole duration, isn't it? So it's basically like a permanent buff because it's like 5 days till the election. Hi boys, anyone got anything to say? No, nothing? Okay. I don't know. Okay, we've got some time. I'm gonna go back to Snore and I'm gonna ask him if he knows anything about the tea shop. Because we have a bit of time, it seems, at least. You're walking up silly and the goblin has to jog. Yeah. He takes a little, and he looks so out of breath while doing it. The poor guy. Hi. What do you know about the tea shop? He waves a hand in front of him. Life is pain. Now what do you want? What do you know about the tea shop? The one that exploded. Oh, horrific. He gestures wildly toward the rocky wall. Shit started shaking. It was as if the red rock of Tolstead itself was cracking. For half a second or so. Did you go check it out? No. Someone told me later what it was like. I have work to do here. You hear anything about it? Rumors? You should not believe rumors, cleric. But yes, I did hear some nasty stuff. Some people seem to think the owner did it himself since he is missing. But others think the city did it, since they printed a clear lie in the post. I've also heard people say the Ascalists are responsible since it was their hideout. Or that the Freestriders did it for the same reason, blowing up Ascalist opposition and so on. It's all bullshit, of course. Don't believe rumors. Well, what do you think happened? He shrugs violently. Just big ol' I've got other questions. Good. What are you voting in the election? I am a filthy Ascalist. Yeah, good choice. It is an acceptable choice. The green banner is flown in a strange context here in this Republican wet dream of ours. Ascalism is supposed to be about abolishing the entire structure of hierarchy. That history is driven by economic struggles, specifically the clash between classes. Asgal's end goal is a classless, stateless society where everyone's equal. But looking at the Norvikian Asgalists, it's clear to me they long ago let this goal slip past. Look at them. They're shaking hands with the establishment, trying to find a peaceful solution, they say. They're simply becoming part of the establishment. True, a compromise with capitalism will always be all-consuming. Look, the hairy halfling mutters. Genuine change, true change, needs a truly revolutionary break with the existing order. There is no doubt about that. Incremental reforms, small changes within the capitalist system will always fail to address its fundamental contradictions and injustices. My time in Reeds made that very clear to me. But always be wary of simplistic utopian visions. It is a path covered in corpses that leads to such blind idealism. So I will vote for this social democratic compromise. This handshake with capital. Then I'll go home and piss myself and die, dreaming the next generation will have answers I do not. Compromise is good enough for now. You'd think I agreed. Part of me does. But I truly hate this idea of tipping the hat to these truly fascist regimes. And yes, even the revolutionary freestriders are fascists in a deep sense. How do you think they got their start? Through the coin of those who profited in the great suffering of Old Diminor, in the Coast War, and grinding the flesh of humanity. Freestriderism is filthy opportunism, not republicanism. They are not just arcanist regimes with a painted mask and slightly less horrified esoterical power in hand. Slightly. Freestriders are more than that. They're the ones who got this election started. They make elections happen when they are able to win them. That is both opportunism and imperialism at its worst. With a deep groan, he starts rubbing his hairy face. Did you guys hear that? Something activated the dogs at my apartment complex. Workers... Workers unite, and unionization and guild power. It is all well and good until it gets too loud. Make a bit too much noise, and the true powers quickly and efficiently drop this illusionary mask, facade, the esoteric spell that tricks us into thinking they care, or that they are in any way Folkarian. Folkarian is concerned with or seeking to promote the welfare of all folk around the coast. So what about you, cleric? You're voting Ascalist, I presume. I'm voting for the new God King Wizard Emperor of Norvik. Oh? Who is that? I did not see that dude on the card. Me, of course. He nods. What are your qualifications? Come on, sell it to me. Why should you be king? Oh no, He sniffs. Now, for something else, before I start ranting about the suffragette movement, your companion glances up at you. Yeah, I got some other questions. Okay, goodbye. All right, I'm gonna take a small moment here. Ooh, auto-saving. Auto-saving. Interesting. We're gonna take a small break here. Stretch your legs, grab some water. It's important. And we'll be back very shortly. See you soon. Hi. Welcome back. So, now that it auto-saved, I wonder if something new is happening. I'm so paranoid about missing something. And I really want this guy to move, because I feel like something cool's over there. You approach a ball of feathers and wings and really, really sharp claws. A magnificent creature. Too bad he's clearly overfed. That is rude. The poor bird cat has a unique body shape, and we should celebrate that. If it could understand you, sure. This is a griffin. It is a somewhat intelligent magical beast. A griffin, a magical beast, a famous magical beast of old Dimonor. Terribly useful mounts used by those with the funds to support their breeding and taming, most famously by the Storm Riders. Storm Riders, a group of highly skilled griffin riders. These days, they're employed by several free cities of reeds. You will require to speak with animals to communicate properly, of course. You see a pool of drool forming underneath the open beak of the beast. Oh, wait. Isn't that? There's an entrance to the warehouse on the other side of the roof. If you want to get inside, you're going to have to get past this bad boy. The mythical beast snores gently before you. I kind of want to... So now, don't you want to pet it too? No, no thank you. And seriously, be careful. I'm not cleaning up your guts if that thing skewers you. It's daunting. I should not engage this beast right now. Dang it, but I really want to engage this beast right now. Oh yeah. I want to fix my spellbook. Reese. Reese. Mr. Lobster. Okay, and this goes to here. Okay, so yeah, how do we get to the docks? I feel like I'm just kind of running in circles. I'm afraid of time passing too much. And here. This is where? Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did this exact path last time. See what I mean? I'm really bad with directions. It's okay. We'll explore. Oh yeah, I already did that. Opens at, oh, in half an hour. Okay, so we just gotta talk to someone for 30 minutes. And then... Can we talk to you for 30 minutes, madame? Hello? No, I don't want to steal from her. Oh my gosh. Okay. She mutters something under her breath as you approach. What are you voting in the election? Don't care for it. Your own vote? It doesn't matter. And I wouldn't tell you if it did. I see. You're also voting for me. What? No. Fuck off, you're not even on the ballot. Are you sure? Smirking inside of your helmet. That's great. Manipulate her into thinking she's crazy. Fuck off. Okay, thank you, citizen. That was not even half an hour. Alright, you know who can talk for half an hour? This guy. Where did you say I should look for this book you needed? He leans in 120 feet. Then he points to the floor, straight down, in the city below. That is where the diviner saw it. How it got there, who knows? You're a halfling, right? Give me your thoughts on the Clanland ordeal. Ordeal? He scratches his nose and looks up into the air. You're not interested? Interested, of course I am interested. My homeland is a shell of broken people. The clans and my kin, especially those stuck under occupation across the Golden Line. The Golden Line is the geographic barrier and magical wall cutting the clanlands in two. The western side is under occupation of the Golden Horde. This fragile armistice is seen by many as not valid due to the constant guerrilla warfare by halflings stuck on the western side. And the clanlands is a term for the unified halfling states in western Asken. The official name is the Fordnip Commonwealth, although many avoid this term as to not annoy the envoys of the Golden Horde. But the Fordnip Commonwealth, it's the unified states of halfling lands in western Asken, also known as the clanlands. We're looping. They were allies of Norvik in the early days of the conquest. Today, the relationship is strained after Norvik refused to aid them against the Golden Horde. They are being systematically destroyed, step by step, as the Horde marches into Askani land. I read about that. The Golden Horde claimed a part of Asken. A big chunk, yes. Then they put up their esoteric wall. He grunts. The clanlands deal, this armistice, was seen by many as a practical solution, since only 2 clans were left to be enslaved and integrated as Horde tributaries. He slams his hand into the side of the chair. It is a band-aid. Celestials view time in centuries while we see it in decades at best. Thus they can take one piece at a time with generational acceptance in between. It is the most clean method of genocide, one of radiant ghosts and insidious toxic love. Why do they want the clanland so badly? He waves his hand. It is a basic resource of conflict. Oh? Amber. You know? Electrum. Electrum, an old term for magical amber ore. It is only mined in 3 locations across the coast. The clanlands of Asken, the Toothy River of Heishi, and the rock woods of Yim. And amber is a translucent magical resin with a faint yellow glow. It is often used to store esoteric energy and is an extremely valuable material across the coast. The technical term is electrum. The Celestials want their magic rocks. The Commonwealth is the only reliable source of amber for the many, many esoteric use cases. Spell storing, item crafting, consecration, esoteric attunement. It is an extremely useful material, a powerful one. So it is really no wonder the Horde wants to expand their golden line. If Norvik was more reliant on amber as a resource, I'm sure they too would covet those hills. But trading with the halflings does not seem so different from trading with the Horde. At least not today. What will happen to them? Tomorrow? Nothing. In a decade? Not much. Fordnip will stand by the time I die. In 30 or 40 years, but by the end of this new era, my homeland will surely be eradicated. That is my estimation. Hey, Moo. That's all I wanted to ask. Yes, yes, he says and sniffs loudly. Hi. You're an expert in alignment, huh? Somewhat. I wrote my masterpiece on the subject. That should account for something of an understanding on the subject, but not enough. Never enough. He sniffs. Does alignment matter? Oh, not in any real way. It can be a tool, but if you cannot read it properly, seeing a man branded with chaotic evil means nothing. But if you learn, it can be used to understand folk better. You can statistically expect an evil person to act in their own interest, and you can expect a good person to act in the interest of others. A smart man can use this to his advantage, which is also an evil act, I believe. Funny how it goes. I passed out and woke up to my cat licking my nose. That's adorable. Oh my gosh. I miss having cats. Who decides what any of this means? There are theories. Some say it's the gods. Some say it's Jor himself who controls the parameters in this world of his. Some believe it's simply inscribed into the universe as absolute law. What do you think? I do not know. If I had to guess, I would say it is something overlapping between worlds. Mostly because I do not believe Jor, from all I've read, to be smart enough to make up a system as complicated as this on his own. Can you change your alignment? Of course. Any creature is capable of leaning into the axis depending on their day-to-day actions. Who decides what's what? You mean the parameters of good and evil? I can either go, yeah, or yeah, but it seems like I've already said, before. I'll say it again. Many have asked that question. Look, like all things, it's messy. Let's say you're lawful evil. I'm not. Sure, but for the sake of argument, let's hypothetically assume you are. Okay, I'm not. A moment of silence from the halfling scholar seems to indicate that he is contemplating whether or not you are capable of entertaining hypothetical reasoning at all. Which, from your statements here, you are at least very much indicating you are not. Let us pretend you are. You find that being labeled as evil is bad for your business, or for your work prospects, as one might. So you choose to donate a large sum of money to a charity that will inevitably help thousands. You might even save some lives with those spent coins. God, I'm such a good guy. I love this game so much. I'm just gonna let him keep going. In this case, you've performed an objectively good, selfless action for evil, selfish reasons. So what happens next? He points at you. Nothing. Ah. You remain lawful evil. But let's change the parameters. Instead, you are a lawful evil man who genuinely wishes to repent, to pay for the many evil things you've done in your life before. If this man performs a selfless action with the intention of selflessness, then all of a sudden it will begin a shift in his alignment. Intention is all that matters? Yes. I've often believed that for my own personal life as well. I do not really mind what people say with words. I care more about the intention behind the words. If you're saying something very nice, but your intention is to manipulate me, I'm not going to be happy. But if you say something really mean, but your intention is just to maybe make me laugh, I'm not going to get offended even if it is something mean. I think because of that, I have lived my life to be very blunt with my words. I kind of don't leave things to be interpreted. I want my intention to be clear. I want people to know where I land on things. Intentions matter the most. I absolutely agree with that. Yep. This effect has obviously been studied for centuries. It's aptly named Alignment Intent Studies. I personally received my scholarship through studying delusional intent. We gathered a large amount of very mentally unwell people, mostly from local prisons and post-war reads, who truly believed in a very different worldview than most others. For example, this one man was certain that we had to kill his fellow man, or the world would end. 1 murder a week. An extreme delusion. However, any detection spell showed him to be neutral good, and he felt terrible about all the murders he had committed. He was not selfish. In fact, he was more selfless than most, willing to perform acts that horrified him in order to save us all. The objective outcome of his actions mattered not, no more than the outcomes of the actions of a person under a charm spell. What if you're not smart enough to understand your actions? Yeah, I kind of want to ask that actually. Me. What if you're not smart enough, huh? What happens? This is what we call the sentience line. It is not exact. Animals, for example, are true neutral by default. Any that is not a pure beast, but rather affected by esoteric forces on some level. That's the theory, at least. But imagine a man who loses enough of his mental faculties to be considered a beast, no longer living in a world of good or evil. Is that you, Moo Moo? You lost too many mental faculties? Let's say he was chaotic good beforehand. What happens to his alignment? Nah, you still got them faculties. Does he suddenly turn true neutral? Is he stuck at chaotic good? Or does he somehow slide towards true neutral? Because that's another thing. There is no known way to perform a neutral action. All actions are either some level of selfish, selfless, lawful, or chaotic. On a wide spectrum. But you can never just move towards the center. It's just not allowed. Does this mean that everything I do is branded as good, evil, chaotic, or lawful? Even this, what I'm saying right now? In some small sense, yes. The very act of speaking, no matter what you say, will always give you very, very small points in any direction. Although, could you imagine trying to keep track of it all? It would be insane. So no person would ever go to such lengths, so no need to keep track of stuff like that. It will only drive you mad. What's the difference between alignment and personality? Oh, not too much correlation on paper. Studies on personality show that there is overlap. Conscientious folk tend to be more lawful. Neurotic and open folk tend to be more good to a minor degree. But we're talking about still unverified and very minor correlations. Okay. I made my decision. I'm sorry? This ongoing dialogue of I'm apolitical, you see, it's killing me. It's absolutely killing me. I want to be neutral good. That is not how it works, cleric. You'd have to be incredibly deluded, and I mean absolute living in your own world, mentally unstable in order to simply decide what your alignment were and actually get an outcome from it. But I suppose it can't hurt. Good luck being... Sorry, what did you choose again? It was, yes. Lawful evil. Structure with you on top, obviously. Chaotic good. Your heart tells you clearly every day you don't live for you. You live for others, against all the structural horrors of the world has brought up around you. You're not gonna like it, but the goal is to end up on top, right? Win every conversation. And you're not really moving along the axis of law, so you're neutral evil. Though seriously, whatever you do, do not tell that to the halfling. Neutral good. Right, good. Neutrally so. He nods. Good luck with that, cleric. Why isn't it illegal to be evil? Might as well make it illegal to be sentient. Branding it as evil might be the core problem there. There were arcanists who created alternate naming conventions for alignments, altruism and egotism, for example, but it did not catch on, as they say. But everyone has to be evil sometimes. Imagine your family is starving alongside two other families who are also starving. The other families are smaller folk who need only half as much food. Would you feed your own family or sacrifice them to feed the other two families? I would feed my own family. What kind of man would willingly let them starve? That is a normal answer, yes. But what exactly is objectively considered in alignment terms in this scenario? Is it selfish to care for your own people before others? Has it more to do with the exact number of people who live or die, suffer or prosper, in a purely utilitarian perspective? These questions have all been asked before and have arguably been answered. Let everyone starve. Nobody's getting any food off for me. We're having a feast. From what we can see, especially looking at the data collected from horrendously unethical experiments performed by Arcanist scholars. It's just about intention. If a man chooses to focus on his own family but feels really bad about the other starving families, then he will be more good than another man who does not think of the other suffering at all. The proximity rule states that the emotional distance between yourself and the target determines the level of selfishness. If you sacrifice your life to protect your family, that's more selfish than if you sacrifice your life for a stranger. The latter is more good. Proximity rule, a rule of alignment. If an action is taken for the benefit of a target, then if that target is closer emotionally to you, it will result in a less good action. If a target is farther away from you, such as a stranger, performing selfless actions for them will result in more goodness. So in the end, a genuinely selfless person will always have a much easier time being branded with good than a naturally selfish one. He scratches his hairy eyebrows simultaneously. Just both eyes, just getting into both of them. By the gods, I talk too much. Make me stop. No, not for 2 more minutes. You gotta keep going, my guy. But we can stop talking about alignment. Okay, good. He wipes some sweat off his brow. "1 minute left. Come on." We could talk to. Oh my gosh. Snell. There he is. You approach your companion. Let's get on with it. That's a good question, actually. Where do I sleep tonight? I don't know, cleric. Gives you defeated look. Can't the city pay for something? You're cleric, for God's sake. Can I sleep with you? No, and seriously, don't phrase it like that. I can just not sleep. That's fine, right? Are you asking for permission? He sighs. You'll get exhausted if you don't sleep, cleric. If you do not take long rests, which are 8 hours long, before dawn, you get 6 levels of exhaustion. If you get 10 levels of exhaustion, you die. Okay, I should find a place to sleep. Guess I could ask the Coin Lord? Ah, yeah, Darrow's your boss on this job, isn't he? Guess you got another thing to talk to him about. Fun. Alright, hour has passed. Okay. It's sundowny. Who are you? Dwarf citizen gazes across the dockyard. Can I like other behold him? Can I like do this kind of behold to him? OST in this game is very nice, such a vibe. I agree. Except it's also kind of too much of a vibe sometimes. It's a little bit too... It's too chill. I've gotten several people tell me that they watch this playthrough to fall asleep. And I'm very happy that I can assist people in this way. But man, I'm also feeling sleepy. Hi, K-Tech. Welcome, welcome. I'm thoroughly enjoying this game, but I do have to like turn on all the lights in my house, or else I will get way too chill and I will just sort of start to unwind a little too much. There's a lot of reading. I don't mind the reading, but the music and the vibe, everything just sort of makes me relax more than I'm used to relaxing. Standing desk would help. True. Very true. I'm actually considering when I move to get a standing desk. If I have to buy another desk, I want it to be a standing one. But let us see who this guy is. A cleric? Sorry, I'm busy. That's the whole interaction? Fine, I'm busy. You're busy? No, I am. You still sleepy? It's still a barred shut, I bet. Stuff's happening. Stuff's going down. He's doing fire. What's going on? Who are you? Rollo Malik. Oh man. Human, Earthfolk, unemployed. The next generation, a late-stage teenager representing all young men among the Earthfolk. Statistically, it could be worrying. If all young men today feel as lost and unemployed as this one, then everything must be going to shit. At least he's politically active. Who else can I peek at? Anyone? I can zoom out more. I can peek at you. Oh, Azkul Modissa. That's the girl I saw earlier. On a mission to fight for the green no matter the battle. Okay. What's going on here? What stats did I put points into? Well, you see, so far, I am primarily intelligence and wisdom, but I like to ask stupid questions, so even though I'm an intelligence build, I am not playing very intelligently. It's not my fault. This game's stupid questions are so funny to say. I am really contemplating after I finish this playthrough. I think I'm gonna do a sort of, I guess like a meathead sort of playthrough where it's like all strength, dexterity, and constitution, and I just barge through. I'm just a goofy. Yeah. I'm a little goofy. The thing is I don't know how long it would be. I know that I would thoroughly enjoy playing it again. I know I want to see how the game changes with a different stat line, but I don't know how willing people would be to watch me play through it again, to see those differences with me. I'm not sure. That's the part that I'm worried about, is dedicating to a whole other playthrough and people not liking it. I don't know. We'll have to see on that one. Follow my heart. We'll see. We'll see. Aww. Thanks, Moo Moo. Who knows? Maybe I'll even start a poll on the Discord. And then that way I can get some feedback before I do stuff. But I think it'd be really funny. Let's see what ruckus is going on down here. Young man. A tense scene. A cleric, just in time. 4 young guys, each looking a bit nervous. Except the angry-looking blonde kid. We've confiscated the illegal goods, he says and bows his head. For the city. He turns his head towards one of the kids behind him. How's it going, Earth Nissa? Uh-huh. I'm trying, hold on. Point at the lanky kid trying to cast a cantrip. Hey, stop it. He freezes and gives the blonde kid a nervous look. Oh, sorry, cleric. I'm Rollo, the blonde kid says and takes a bow. Rollo Malik, at your service. Behind me are Earth Nissa, Stenbuskin, and Tully. We're members of the Norvikian Resistance, a movement to You're thieves and ignorant book burners. The girl adjusts her spectacles and straightens her back. With all due respect, Mr. Cleric, she says, don't believe a word from these thugs. You notice the two other girls behind her, a halfling and a dwarf, both look at each other. Assholes. Careful, it's an actual cleric. Thugs? Come on, Modissa. Really? Like, the AY aren't just a bunch of ruffians? AY? Asgalist youth? Maybe? I don't know.
Huh?
I've seen enough, the goblin whispers to you in sighs. It's just activists clashing. The AY? Asgalist youth? Yeah, I'm so smart. Intelligence build. Sorry. Oh, ignore me. I'm so dumb. See her green armband? Is there a problem here? Problem's taken care of, Lord Cleric. Oh, fuck off. They've stolen, she hisses, then turns to Rollo to bark out. You stole our entire Waterlane delivery. Yeah, sure, of an illegal newspaper. Lord Cleric, I assure you, we're doing the city a favor here. I take that back. It's just a bunch of LARPers. LARPer, an insult meaning someone who's delusional and roleplays themselves into a position of power or importance. Based on LARP, meaning live action roleplaying. I see, so it's a lover's quarrel. New skill trait unlocked, Goofy. Wait, what a time to read that. Crap. I really am. That's what LARP means. Yeah, you didn't know. Live action role playing. Yep. I actually have a friend who LARPs. Except he does like the really cool kind of LARPing where they like go camping and everything. And they have like a little cot that they sleep on and they camp over a fire. And it's so cool. I've never done it, but I like camping. that would be the gateway drug to get me into LARPing, is to be like, Sheepie, they have tents. They have campfires. I probably roll over into the fire. Okay, let's see. So, I'm sensing a conflict here. You're here to uphold the law, right? So arrest these assholes. Now. The dwarf grabs her hand and holds her back. Modissa, calm down, please. What are you guys voting in the election? Oh man, that's so funny. I don't do any RP, but with the right group, I could be getting into that role. I think the most I've done is we had like a board game night, and wait, was it for a board game or was it for D&D? I think there was like one night of D&D that we said come dressed up as your characters. Best question of the game, absolutely. Except also, I've also really enjoyed the reoccurring answer of, I am apolitical, you see. I haven't selected it once, but it keeps showing up as if it's like, you've chosen this every single time, haven't you? No. I'm decisive, I promise. Alright, let's start with the girl. Explain your side. She scoffs. Okay, fine. Her dwarven friend mutters, Modissa, in a concerned tone. Her friends are trying to keep her from being too brazen. Why? If they're in the right, she should be brazen. We deliver papers for the Asgalian chant. Maybe you've heard of it. It's a pretty big deal. He chuckles. The paper is not terribly popular, but it is known for radical articles and political stances. I know it hasn't been brought up, but I would like you to know I'm apolitical, by the way. Exactly. It's so incredible. I love the dialogue in this game. It's so wonderful. She draws a sharp breath. We have a busy schedule, and right as we started delivering the papers in Water Lane, these pieces of shit started following us. Taking papers we've just delivered right out of people's mailboxes. That's illegal, right? Says the halfling girl. I would assume that would be illegal. I wouldn't call it highly, probably. I feel like highly illegal would be like murder. Somewhat illegal. Of course it's illegal. And then they grab one of our paper stacks from Zerba, like straight up assault and theft, and Medusa, it wasn't... They can't get away with this. It probably was not that bad. Poor girl. Right? You? First of all, thank you for listening to reason. I know we look like some dumb kids, but we're not. Something about his expression makes you think the exact opposite. Burning the written word does nothing to dispel such a notion. He gestures toward you, and then to himself. We are on the same team here. I don't look dumb, he says, looking dumb. Give him a hug. Okay, stop stalling, tell me what you're doing here. Okay, so we heard about the Ascall chant being delivered on Tolstad. Or I did, at the guild. I work at the fishery, and I see every day how Earthfolk get radicalized by Dwarven nonsense. So I figured I'd get the boys with me and we'd, put a stop to it. I'm just gonna look. We couldn't figure out where the thing was printed or anything. A lot of Copper Press zines don't have official companies behind them. Oh. Especially trash like the chant you hear coming from the short kid in the back. Go fuck yourself, Tully. Hey, relax. I'm telling our story here. To the good Lord Cleric. He turns back to you and coughs once. Of course, it's illegal to distribute unlicensed papers in every official district, so I ask around. Apparently someone saw these girls at the university going around, delivering it. Wasn't that difficult to figure out. It was Medusa doing the deliveries. She did September 2025, a lot cooler than 2024's. I honestly don't know what September is. I'm so new to everything that it's all kind of lost to me in a way. I'm a bad streamer. I'm just playing video games. Oh no, it's so cute though. It's like a little Tamagotchi. Look at you. That's so funny. Fucking Medusa. She's not allowed to do that, the large kid in the back says with a nod. They don't like you, do they? They don't like women in general, she says with a frown. Back in school, everyone knew who Medusa was. The Asgalist annoyance, the blonde kid says with a grin. Such a terrible nickname. Unimaginative and boring. Also, fuck you. Anyway, that's how we got here. They're delivering an illegal magazine, and we've put a stop to it. He grins wide and proud. what does the law say about this conflict? The Asgal chant, or whatever silly name its anonymous publisher gave it, is not licensed for distribution in Tolstad. Requiring licenses for public distribution is a typical method to repress journalistic intent in Norvik. At the same time, it is also illegal to steal delivered newspapers from mailboxes, even if those papers are delivered illegally. Both are in the wrong? In different ways, yes. I think I have an idea of what they're voting for. I've come to a decision. Good, she says, and nods. She's hiding a nervous expression. Great, good. He is outwardly very nervous. Is there a compromise to be found here? Perhaps, but you must engage in a deep, meditative form of empathy in order to achieve it. Oh, wow. That's not too bad. 11? With a +2? I think we've got it. Let's try to find a middle ground solution that nobody is happy with. Great! No one's happy. Perfect. It is time for a compromise. Both of you, listen up. Your calm and determined voice rings out across the street. Tell the girls, you can't deliver your paper. Then tell the boys, and you can't steal it. But you can't deliver it. That's what I've been saying, Dave, and you can't take it. Just listen to him. Come on. The blonde kid grits his teeth. Then he grabs the stack of papers and tosses it across. Oof, Medusa grunts as she catches it. Then she immediately turns to you. What do you mean? We have every right to... No, delivering without a license. Fine. The boys quickly disperse, muttering amongst themselves. Don't, the dwarf girl tells Medusa as she strolls up to you. Hey, Mr. Cleric, you know we're just going to deliver these anyways, right? Just do it a bit later, so the blonde kid doesn't notice. As you answer, she turns and walks away. Well, you sure made the problem go away. Somewhat. Now let's get out of here. All right. Well, I guess that was the ruckus that was supposed to go on at night, but I was also hoping to catch the tea shop owner trying to flee. I didn't technically find any dock, though. How do they access any docks? But is there anything new over here? I don't think so. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to that place that opens after sundown. Wait, was it this place or that place? No, this one's closed for the day, right? Closed for the day. Look at that. Me remembering something. Woohoo. Something about directions. Wow. You approach the door. The bookbinder. Bookbinder, you got business here? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I do. Just shut up, Snell. Let me knock on the door. That 15 int in use. Within seconds of the knock, the slit on the door slides open. Beyond you see a pair of large yellow eyes glaring at you. Heyo. Is this pest control? The eyes quickly tilt to the left. I really want there to be a fourth option for just like, if you bind my spellbook, I'll be whatever you want me to be. In a sense. The eyes push closer to the slit in the door. As they do, a bush of gray feathers pokes out. A bird folk. A cleric? Yeah, duh. birdman behind the door ruffles his feathers. Shen Yellen is my name. If you are not pest control, I need nothing from you. Please leave. I have a ruined prayer book. Can you fix it? Prayer book? Yes. I have seen quite a few. Drop inside. I'll check a look. Yeah. Yes, horrible. Salt water. Left swollen. You could have avoided the worst of this if the drying process had been handled better. I will rebind this foul mess for you. How much will it cost? We will see. Depends on the process. I will need guidance on the direction of the rebinding. The spells inside are lost, however, the style and formatting can be saved. Using my skills, I can aim at something from the towers, which would be most similar to the original work. I could also focus on rebinding it in the style of a druidic ledger, or perhaps as a grimoire of the dark and forbidden arts. Ooh, shoot. Okay, so... man. I'm thinking of doing the intelligence upgrade. I've got that 15. I don't know how this works. If this puts me up a point to 16, it would increase my modifier. So I'm gonna go remake it as well as you can with the original intention in mind. That I will do. Return tomorrow. Not while the sun rises. I am either resting or working intently during those hours. Anything else you want, or will you leave me to work? Is the bird a woman? Am I hitting on her? Why do you need help from the pest control guild? Rats! Oh, they're awful. Keep spawning out of the sewer pipes. Yeah, the PCG should really take care of that. Yes! He lets out an angry bird noise. Oh, okay. Maybe that doesn't stop us. But that bastard guild leader, Torlim Slip, keeps telling me they don't have time. No time? They have dozen teams running around the city. No time? I've heard the big problem is that they cannot get anyone to do pest control missions at 1-star levels. The PCG has a ranking system based on the danger of any particular pest they handle. Of course, rats would be a 1-star problem. The halfways, we haven't relied on the PCG for years. They just don't have the time for anything over a 2-star danger ranking. It is very annoying. I have looked into it, and the problem is the pest control team that joins the guild only takes on 1-star missions for a couple of weeks. Then they quickly start focusing only on the higher paying tasks, and all the actual normal pests keep on spreading throughout the city. It is a ridiculously idiotic system. So while all the mimics and monsters keep getting slayed, nothing is done about these darn rats. Mimic. Okay, I now have a new fear, because I've now remembered mimics exist, and I have been opening every barrel. Mimic, horrifying shape-shifting monster, capable of copying the looks of any object it discovers, although with some size limitations depending on the type. If you touch it, you will get stuck and probably eaten. The Pest Control Guild uses a legendarily poor design. The bird takes a few breaths after his rant. Worst part, my nephew has a team himself. The White Doves, they're called. And I've tried sending messages to him also, but he just says the same thing. Too busy, too busy. I could take a look at it. It does kind of sound like a quest. If you do, I would be very happy. The rats seem to come from the sewers connected with the city below. How do I just say yes? I don't want to say good luck with that. I want to say yeah. I can kill a few rats when I get a spell. Thank you. Are you a scholar? Oh. You are interested in the arts. If you have anything to share, let's hear it. I was trained in the knowledge back in Three Wings. I know many things. Three Wings, the name of the birdfolk tribes which ruled far inland in Divinitorum. They unified 57 years ago and created a sovereignty based on Asgalian ideas. They were subjugated by the Golden Horde 32 years ago. But no time to talk or share. Busy. If you want scholarly teachings, go speak with my upstairs neighbor. Oh, trust me, we have. We have spoken to him to great lengths today. That gnome never stops talking. Oh, Snorri, he's not a gnome. He's a halfling. You know him. Good. And I will not learn the differences between gnomes and halflings for the same reason you people will call my kind birdfolk, clumping us together with the foul feathers of the darker bands. Racism. Logic. Do I agree with it? No. It does sound petty, but I'm not gonna be able to change their mind, I don't think. I'm much more of the opinion just be like, okay, understandable. Yes, it is. Wanna go for a drink at the tavern? No. Okay. So stern. Thank you for your time. And thank you all for your time. That is the end of our stream tonight, actually. So, we will be picking this up again on Thursday. 2 days. Same time, same place. You know the drill. Until then, I hope you guys have a great night. And I keep meaning to have a better habit of saying come join the Discord. So yeah. Good night, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye.